Welcome back to another tutorial from AP Classes. So today what I want to talk about is the module you are working on dealing with writing the long essay. And I can imagine that when you're thinking about writing a long essay, there are a number of big challenges that come up. Let's just start off with that word, long essay, right? Why call it that in the first place? That's a good question. To be quite honest, a long essay is just an essay, just like you would do in an English class. The reason why we call it the long essay is to differentiate it with the DBQ, or document-based question. So the DBQ is an essay question on an AP test that is based on 7 documents. In this case, with the long essay, you're going to have to write an argument in an essay format without anything except for the prompt. So I can imagine you might be thinking, whoa, wait a second. When I get to that part on the test, I'm going to be really tired. I've done the multiple choice. I've done the short answer. I've done the DBQ. Now I've got to do the long essay on top of it. And you've got to write under timed pressure, and you're not going to be given anything other than the prompt. You're not getting like those documents that are going to help you out. Okay, so how do you attack the long essay? First thing is to classify it. And this is so important. You've got to read the prompt first. Most students just want to dive right into the essay. They scan over the prompt. They just don't think about it. Big mistake. Because if you do that, you're going to miss out on what the essay question is asking you to do. And you might actually write like a really good essay, but it's not going to actually hit what they're asking for. So first thing, we've got to classify this essay. And there are one of 3 possibilities of which you're going to classify it by. Either cause and effect, comparison and contrast, or change in continuity over time. Okay, so writing is not a formula, and it's really important to know this, because I think a lot of times when students come into AP classes, the question I get over and over again is, just tell me, how do I put this down on paper and just get a good grade? I understand the desire to want that, but this is not math and science. Writing is an art, and because of that, there's no actual formula I can give that's going to guarantee you a grade. What I can do is I can give you the elements that will help you to start improving your writing and improving your grade over the long term. So these are not formulas, they're guidelines. Let's start off with cause and effect. In the case of cause and effect, you can always think in these terms. X caused Y because. In the case of comparison and contrast, here's what you can consider when you're writing that thesis argument. X was similar to Y, but X was also different from Y because. So last off, for change in continuity, you can think of it as, while X stayed the same, Y changed because. Now notice what we're doing in every one of those examples. We're providing a historical reason. So I want to give you a few examples that will demonstrate this, but keep in mind, these are not formulas. So you're taking what I gave to you and adapting them, implementing them to these examples. Here they are. Cause and effect. Europeans began to explore the Americas because different countries were competing over resources. Okay, here's another one. Comparison and contrast. China and India are similar in their strong family beliefs. However, while Indian beliefs are rooted in spirituality, China's beliefs are based upon practicality. And then last off, change and continuity. While trade remained a continuity of human behavior, the exchange of beliefs led to Buddhism entering into China and changing the practicality of Confucianism. Okay, so when you're writing up the entirety of your essay, what do you want it to look like? Here's the overall structure that it's going to always end up when you finish off your essay. You're always going to have an introductory paragraph that will have contextualization and then a thesis. Then you're going to have multiple body paragraphs that in each topic sentence provide the historical thinking skill, as well as multiple examples. And I would suggest aiming for what's called the rule of 3, meaning 3 examples per body paragraph. Now, this is where I always get the big question from people: how many paragraphs do I have to have in my essay? To be quite honest, there's no number. I know in a lot of essays you've written, it's 5 paragraphs, right? That's the typical formula. But honestly, for an AP essay, what's important is that you have that introduction with the contextualization and thesis. And then you have multiple body paragraphs that provide for historical thinking skills, and they provide for examples. And as long as you have that, that's what you're graded on, not the number of paragraphs, the elements that you're hitting, okay? You want to make sure introduction with contextualization and thesis, multiple paragraphs that hit the historical thinking skills, Try to have rule of 3 per body paragraph as far as examples, with a minimum of 5 examples for your overall essay. And make sure you analyze and say how those examples fit back into your argument. That's it for the long essay. I hope this overall module has helped you to think about how to approach this and how to organize your thoughts for the long essay. See you in class.